In the Couch Productions.
That was hard.
Yeah.
That was hard.
This stuff sucks water like a French prostitute in World War II, right? My stuff?
Yeah.
It doesn't absorb water.
Yeah.
It's so tight cell DPS. It's
The ancient Hawaiian sport of surfing is about to see a new look. It's called the Gemini, and its creator hopes that the design will revolutionize surfing. The Gemini features innovations that are supposed to give the rider a faster and more maneuverable ride. The most significant part of the new design is its twin noses and concave bottom.
I saw this board at the beach at Malibu where I lived. Some guy had it, and I immediately contacted the guy who made the board, and I said, "Oh man, I got it. You know, I don't want to copy you, but what do I do? How do I do this?
How does this work?
How do I make this? How does it work?
Yeah.
How do I get involved?"
Yeah.
Well, Jeff Alexander had made 500 of these in San Diego all through the 90s.
Okay.
He made 500. It was the newest thing. It was on the news. Surfer Magazine even did an article on it.
Oh,
and
sure,
Jeff was on the North Shore, and guys were riding these in Pipeline. So I approached him, and I offered him a little bit of money to make the board, and I started making it. But he never really showed me the finer points. So I was getting them off the computer, and they were working okay. When I tried to hand shape them, they weren't working so well because I was missing something. It wasn't until I met the guy, got in the room, and figured out all the intricacies of this board that I was able to figure it out, hand shaping. You know, Jeff went to a drag boat race. Okay, he went to a speedboat race. He was a shaper, well-known shaper in San Diego.
Yeah.
He got an idea and immediately went home and shaped the board, and he got it on the first try.
So it's the pickle fork nose boat?
It's a pickle fork race boat
Yeah.
that
I've
inspired
seen it.
this thing,
Yeah,
right?
what am I-
It's the board, the boats you see drag racing, right?
Yeah.
And then they get too fast and they fly up in the air and flip. And you know, when you're traveling on two surfaces as opposed to one, you're going faster.
Yeah.
It's physics.
Yeah.
Two surfaces travel faster than one,
Yeah.
and you've got no resistance in the middle. You're done.
Right. You're
No
reducing,
nose flip. We don't need 6 inches of the board.
reducing swing weight too.
We
right?
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the swing weight comes
That was
back
it.
in the torsion flex, which I'll explain in a second. So, you know, if you look at this, you don't need the flip. It's a very flat board, but
Right.
you've got the V in the nose, right?
Right.
And the V goes all the way back, and then you've got, and for you guys that don't know what V is the shape of a V on a surfboard. And it makes a board,
It helps you teeter off.
it helps you teeter rail to rail.
Yeah.
So, as you notice, you look at the V in the nose here, right? So there's a little bit of V in the nose, you'll see it right there. The water feeds through here, it goes to narrow, then it compresses, and once it gets under your front foot, it's a hose jet
Just shoots.
off the back.
Shoots water.
They're so incredibly fast and so incredibly fun
Yeah.
to ride.
Oh, I've had.
They're
yeah.
intimidating looking, right? But they do something that's so unique. And like, oh, well, is it going to change the surfing world? No. But it's going to give you a feeling on the wave that you're never going to get from any other.
It's alternatives. That's why we surf different boards.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man.
We're
I
trying
mean,
to get off the high performance.
You can't go out and buy a Ferrari.
But I'd love to test drive one.
You'd love to test drive one,
Yeah.
but you could certainly afford a Gemini. Right?
That's a good way to put it.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't have 5 girlfriends.
Depends who you.
But you can have many surfboards without any problems. And you've got the jet out the back. Now we go to backwards V. These are flat panels back here. And this is a secret I was never supposed to divulge, but you know what? We're in 2020 right now. So you've got regular V crossing into backwards V. It's really difficult to do. There's so many other little things going on up in this nose here that it would just be too long to explain.
No, for sure.
But there's
Yeah.
other subtleties in here that make the board work.
Oh, yeah.
And Tomo's tried to duplicate this thing. There's a lot of people that have tried to make this board.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a certain way this board rides. It's very addicting.
Immediate has the lift that down the line like just
Off the gun.
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like all right, it's generating speed like a groveler. It's gonna do its thing for sure. Definitely, I can agree though. I was intimidated.
There
by
was a
that.
bunch of guys that contacted me because nobody else makes this board.
Yeah.
Right? And they're going, we saw this kid on your board and he was flying. Like, I heard about it through people I didn't even know.
Yeah, I
If
was
you
in-
didn't know.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Yeah, I remember I was in. Yeah, and there's
some guy ripping on your board out there, John. I go, oh, really?
I remember who I gave that to. Yeah, no, that would have been.
Well, you can serve these in all conditions. It's just, you may want to get
I try
your
to figure
first
it-
couple of rides on an open face first to figure it out, then you
Okay.
can start pushing it. Now, this one doesn't do exceptionally well in hollow beach brakes.
Okay.
It can,
Try
but
to figure it out.
but for the average normal hipster, this board is super fun. Right?
Okay.
Now, the other board I'm going to lay down on you does perform in beach brakes.
Okay.
It's got a thinner rail. I made this porkier. I made it more fish-like.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be your dumping pipeline board. Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to serve these boards about 4 to 6 inches shorter than what you're riding now.
Okay.
I mean, you can go really short with these things.
Depending on the shape that you're in.
And you also may want to narrow them up a bit because they do have a parallel outline like Tomo. Remember Tomo has that? So this parallel outline that Tomo was doing with the squared off noses and all that, look at, they're all parallel outlines. You know, there's not a lot of curve in these things.
Yeah,
Right?
you're right. because-
So it's pretty straight, right? So when you do get these type of boards that maintain their straightness all the way up to the nose, it always helps if you get them a little narrower because you don't have any curve to bring the board in.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
you gotta bring that width in or you're gonna get platy,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You're gonna
So when you guys go out and buy parallel outline boards like the Vader and boards like this, narrow them up a tad. I mean, look at your leaders,
Yeah.
check it out.
Definitely, that's what you want to.
But the narrowness helps and it makes them feel more like a conventional board.
So that's how you try to find that balance. Is
Yeah,
From that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's always good to go narrower on the parallel boards.
Okay.
You know, like the double wing helps it turn. Now, story has it that Stretch saw a bunch of these boards up in Santa Cruz. Jeff was selling a bunch of them, and at the time, Jeff was putting rail channels in these boards.
Right.
Okay, so Stretch goes in to the surf shop up there, and he goes, "Oh, what is that piece of garbage? Oh, no." Hour later, he comes back with a tape measure, paper,
Taking the numbers
taking the notes, right? So he captures the bat tail,
Yeah.
right? He captures a wider outline, and he comes up and he gets Shaper of the Year from ripping on this board.
Yeah.
Slater, at the 2003 Surfer Pole Awards, Slater could not put this thing down. Jeff brought it to the Surfer Pole Awards, and Slater was,
Just.
yeah, he couldn't get away from it. But knowing the principles helps you decide.
Right. Exactly.
And you know, I've told you this so many times that, you know, we don't want to ride Slater's model. We don't want to ride Kaloe Andino's model.
Yeah,
because we don't surf like them. You know, you're going to
No.
ride your model,
No.
man.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know,
This is-
that's why you come to a Shaper. We help you out. You
I'm
know?
working on this. fucking
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah. You've had a fair amount of orders coming your way too, huh?
Yeah, I got really busy. The industry was upside down. It was almost ready to go,
Just
you know,
shit out on
go
it.
the way of the dead.
Kill
And
this thing.
it came back with the closure of the basketball courts.
So you spent
Yeah,
time-
was that board fun? Was it just
So
like,
I rode that thing for the first time the other day. It
Yeah.
was maybe shin to waist high.
Okay.
I had fun. I
Yeah,
definitely had
it's a
fun.
fun little loose board.
It's very. That's one thing I noticed. It's actually
Loose.
very
A
very
loose thruster,
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
but it
so-
still has a little drive.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I like boards like that when it's really windy. 'Cause
Right,
the sections
right.
come at you out of nowhere. So as long as you set up your bottom turn, you're just kind of waiting for that last minute section.
It doesn't stick too much.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
With boards like this Cymatic, it grips like stupid amounts. You know?
Really?
Oh yeah. Have you seen the channels on this thing? I got this board from you maybe 2 days before my Waco trip,
Right.
and when I was there, I found myself switching out the fins every like 2 or 3 waves.
Okay.
I was becoming like very frustrated almost. I was like, something's not working on this board.
Really?
Part of me was just thinking it's like the wave pool, you know what I mean? It's like, that's already a factor we're throwing in. But then when I came home and I was surfing it, like, I definitely was having more fun in an actual ocean than the pool. That I noticed, but
Okay.
I was still like, wasn't finding the best fin. The one that worked best was the Mick, because it's that carvy, drivey fin we're looking for.
Okay.
Except, since it's a foam core, it's not balancing out the variable. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I see what you're saying. You need glass in there.
Exactly. You want either a PC carbon or glass to balance it out. You want a stiffer type of thing. So the Pizels are under the Carver family,
Little bit of
except they've got weight.
A little bit of weight.
Yeah, I actually scored those. You know John Friedman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that I bought those off of them.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I
Like,
would buy it.
if you want your fin to react more and turn on a dime, go for an upright fin.
Upright fin.
If
right.
you're looking for carve, go for and drive, go for a more drawn out fin.
Now, you know the two principles, now let's compare the fins.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And that'll get people...
It's not rocket science when you really just try to be simple about it.
It's not, but it does take some intelligence.
Oh, for sure.
It does. You know,
yeah,
like,
I mean,
sorry.
basic principle of pulled in tail will harness speed, wide tails generate speed.
Yes.
Type of thing, you know
yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
And I
I'm
was
charging
making
$6.50. He's a front-footed, goofy foot,
Okay.
like you,
Yeah.
and you know he's getting one.
He's gonna be stoked.
Okay.
And we're gonna be selling more.
Okay.
So this is the Groovy Wizard. We're claiming the name,
And
right?
the back fin, yes, that's the name. That's yours.
I'm gonna be ordering another one of these
Okay.
at some point, but I don't think we'll be needing to change much.
Good. Hey, can we cut for a second?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Bring this thing
I'm gonna take a curve off of that.
for sure.
Before I
You're good.
leave out of the basement of my car.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
David Smith was the first guy we saw in the 80s to be in the air on a surfboard.
That's good.
Nobody was doing it back then. And all of us looked at the photo and we said,
How the hell?
well, I don't, you know, this is never gonna fly, right?
It's not
Right? I
gonna
mean,
catch
how do you fly through an air on a surfboard and land? You know, like, but it,
No,
it
it's
looks
not gonna
nice.
catch on.
Never gonna catch on. Just like this rap music we're hearing, right? Never catch on.
Right.
Right? You'll kind of feel the low nose,
Yeah.
right? But
Oh,
the ones
sure.
I'm hand shaping now, that's gone.
Okay.
But it's still fun to have this low nose rocker because it's just so
Giving you
fast.
speed. Yeah, and that's the
it's
thing.
just
That's
so
what I
fast
thought
and
about.
fun. you
That's
know?
one thing I always gotta tell myself, like, sacrifice the rocker and work with the speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
At least have a bend in them anymore.
Yeah. It's probably just that nose really throwing me off.
Yeah.
But I remember how many looks I was getting when I was riding the scene, like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
Isn't it fun?
Oh, dude.
To everybody's scratching their head like monkeys,
Yeah.
right? And they're just, oh no, that can't work. That can't possibly work. And then you go and you slash him in the face with a spray. I get a call. It's around Christmas. And he's going, John, everybody's telling me how amazing I'm surfing. I'm like a different surfer. I'm going faster. I'm doing this. And then he says, but they all say I should get off that weird board. That's the logic. You know what I'm saying? He's riding the Gemini, right?
Yeah. he's
They're
killing
all
it.
saying, we've never seen you surf better. You're ripping, Jay. But man, what are you doing riding that stupid board for?
It's helping me surf.
It was the board.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
like,
fun, yeah.
what do you think? I mean, wow.
And even
That's the stigma that goes with this thing.
Oh, yeah.
They see the double nose, they freak out, and they go, out. You know, about what your fins are doing. Remember I told you? Oh, shit. I may have to take this call.
No, you're good.
They got the, you know, the track homes are nice and clean and organized and fitted, so.
Yeah, it's nice and all, but the HOAs are just such a bitch.
Yes, but you know what, dude? Let me tell you something.
This is the Channel 2 News at 6 with Joe Moore, Hawaii's #1 news.
The ancient